Hello and welcome, as it is the 29th day of June 2020. My name is Derek. This is the Money Charts channel. No charts in this video. Most certainly all bets are within your own risk and your own reward. I'm going to be going over my two favorite futures bets for the National Hockey League. And these are ones that if I wanted to put something like $20 down on, I probably would. And well, I didn't because I didn't put dollars on. Basically, a tenth of a BCH probably might not be the word. I like to make risk versus reward wagers sometimes, and I'm going to go through this one here. So within the Stanley Cup, let's go through some news on rotoworld.com. Gary Bettman announcing today that a total of 26 players have tested positive for the current situation, one of which is Austin Matthews. And living in the Toronto area, I found out like 50, 60 hours after he got it. And it's because at the time he was trending #1. But one of the things I said way back in March, and more so true now, was that when these things get back going, a lot of these players are going to probably look a lot different than they normally do for many of them. And one of the cases is you're out of shape for a while, now you're trying to do a very quick training camp to get back. Well, some guys will be there, but some won't. And so maybe one guy who's like the 20th best player in the league will become like the 7th or 5th best or 100th best because of how good or poor they are in shape. And I'm going to get more to that for the reason of these wages moving forward. But for now, those are the things to expect. And a lot of it's like you don't know what to expect. Everyone's professional. These are all top goalies. These are people that not only do they have the training camp issues, but life-changing issues for so many people is going to change a lot. In some of these lineups, there might be players not going through. And I don't got anything on that for, okay, this person's probable not to play, you want to fade this team. I have none of that. I'm looking at baseball stuff saying this guy's opting out, this guy's opting out, this guy's opting out of the season. There might be some of that going on with the National Hockey League. And these wages you make, I talked to one of the sports books before saying, well, what happens if the season doesn't have a winner? Yep, I get my money back no matter, even if they get eliminated right off the bat, and then a few weeks later the season's canceled, I'd still get a return. But anyway, the Johnny Gaudreau, this is very, very interesting just reading this. I don't know what to take of this. Maybe this is now false information, 165 pounds. Johnny Gaudreau, nicknamed Johnny Hockey, has been living like a lumberjack during the NHL pause. I'm in the middle of the country out here in New Jersey. Maybe it's not literal because I haven't read this yet. I'm out in the middle of the country here in New Jersey at my parents' house, so I've been riding the bike a lot, which is good. And my dad and me and my brother outside chopping trees down. So, yep, he's like a lumberjack. Gaudreau said, I think we have enough firewood to last us for 4 years. We've been staying active for a while. I wake up every morning hearing the chainsaw, and I'm like, yep, better get outside or else Dad is going to be inside pulling me out of bed. Oh, you know what? So, I mean, these are just interesting, good stories. But how we got #1 headlines for this with a story like that? But something like that, could that change how this is going to come into play? I'm going to get to Jesperi Kotkaniemi in a little bit, but I'll wait for a little bit. I mean, I haven't even looked at Connor McDavid. He's #9, so it's probably nothing. It's like, it's tough. 4 players, I guess, to replicate skating during NHL's pause. Well, damn right. I mean, all these players, I'm thinking, they can't skate. Anyway, as far as how the playoffs work in the National Hockey League for this current upcoming season, East and West are playing in this exact format where 12 teams in each conference are still alive to win the Cup. 24 teams remain. And the 5 seed and the 12 seed play in a best of 5. So do the 6, 11, 7, 10, and 8 and 9. And the 8 and 9 would play #1. So at first it was like, man, the Leafs cannot dodge those Boston Bruins in the playoffs. Because the Leafs come in as a #8 seed. And if that was the case, if they win, they have to play whoever's the #1 seed in the first round of the playoffs. And it looked like it would have been Boston, but they've changed that now. Now what's going to happen is while these teams are playing a best of 5, it might seem unfair it's not fair that these teams play while other 4 teams watch and aren't getting the game shape they are. So when they start game 1, these teams that played would have a huge advantage. Well, no, because these guys will play each other in a round-robin event. to determine who gets seeds 1 through 4. So maybe if the Leafs win, well, they're either 4 teams that are in seeds 1 to 4 right now, but it's going to change. The Boston Bruins are the top seed, and the other 3 teams are the Philadelphia Flyers, Washington Capitals, and the Tampa Bay Lightning, at least on the Eastern Conference side. Vegas, Dallas, St. Louis, and Colorado on the Western side. But what I'm thinking here is, if one of those 4 teams in the conference that have that seed happen to not be as good as they were back in February and March and such, and maybe a couple of players aren't physically there, and especially the goalie, if that goalie is just off, they're done. So if they struggle in the qualifying round, then there's a damn good chance they're going to hit that number 4 seed. So in theory, the likelihood that the winner of the 5-12 could have a very large advantage. The number 5 and 12 seeds in the East, it is the Pittsburgh Penguins playing the Montreal Canadiens. And in the West, the Edmonton Oilers take on the Chicago Blackhawks. If we look at some of these bets on just a random or not random sports bet, I'm going to use Cloud Bet. Again, BCH, something that they might have on there. But when we look at hockey and look for the futures bets on here, what we're looking at is ice hockey outrights. Now, as it goes, I'm the type of person whom, if I'm very close, would hedge. And in here, if I'm taking a team at like 90, 80, 40, 40, 40, 50, whatever to 1, and it's close, I might bet at the other side, kind of. Like if I say Chicago at 88 to 1, then if they're in the semis, finals, I might put a bet on the other team to win here, just in case if I lose, I win no matter what kind of deal. And I can do conferences, and that's basically where it comes down to, is the Eastern and Western Conference. Let's start off with the East. So the odds that we're looking at has Tampa at 3 to 1, Boston at 3 to 1, Washington at 5 2/3, Philly at 5 3/4. They're the teams with the first round bye, so they have the best odds. Pittsburgh, the team, the number 5 seed at 7 1/4. Toronto, even with Austin Matthews with the current event, at 11 3/4 to 1. And that means you get 11 3/4 back. So if you bet $100 on it, you get back 11.77. Carolina, 17 to 1. Columbus, we'll say 20 to 1. 21 for the Islanders, a little over 21 for the Rangers, 22 for Florida, and 46. Such a big number for Montreal. But when you think about it, I mean, what if Sidney Crosby, Marc-Andre Fleury, and or the it's been so long since I've watched goalie. I got the picture of him in my face. Their other goalie, and I should know these names. I mean, I bet them every single time. Who's the Pittsburgh goalie? Well, that's a symptom of not having any hockey for 3.5 months, and also my memory is just getting worse and worse. So anyway, it would come to me. Jack Johnson? No, that's like an old school guy. He was defense. Anyway, but if the goalie's not in shape, then... But hey, Montreal's got Carey Price in net. That is pretty darn near impressive. He's a guy that can most certainly win. If anyone's in deserve, if any one goalie deserves a cup, it's him. And I wouldn't be betting for them to win it. Just go to the cup by winning the conference. Now this is another site here, where this is Bet Online. A bigger site that takes more volume. And for them to win the Stanley Cup, they got 33 to 1 for Chicago to win the Cup. And yet I'm getting 46 for them to win the conference? They got Montreal at 60 to win the Cup. And for the West, Chicago, they got a 20 to 1. Okay. And for Montreal, 30 to 1. I've already locked in 46 on both of them. Montreal in Chicago. If it gets to the conference finals, it's likely I would place a small bet on the other team to hedge it through. But that is where I'm going. But let's now go back and do a search and just check out this guy. This makes my Montreal bet even stronger, I think. So we have this 19-year-old kid, born July the 6th, 2000, 6'2", 200 pounds, we'll say. 6 goals, 2 assists, 8 points. I can't really see his games offhand, but Jesperi Kotkaniemi. Just carry. I'm gonna do a Stuart Smalley. Jesperi K. I'll protect his anonymity, which was just a funny joke on the Saturday Night Live series, where people like Michael Jordan was a guest, and to protect his anonymity, he called him Michael J. But Mr. K suffered an injury to his spleen back in March while playing in a game for AHL's Laval Rockets, and was expected to miss the remainder of the 2019-20 campaign. But the current situation shut down has allowed his extra time to recover. The 19-year-old forward struggled in his time in the NHL this season and will have to play his way onto the Canadiens' active roster for the planned 2014 playoffs. Now, of course, he might not be that good ready, or might not be ready. But if there's any type of training camp, of course there will be, because they've already scheduled it for July the 7th. That if he's looking good, he's probably going to be able to make the team. And if he's just one extra player that can help that team come through, that would be magnificent for that to be the case. So they have stated that Larry Brooks of the New York Post reports NHL is aiming to begin the Stanley Cup playoffs on July the 30th. And according to Michael Russo and James Myrtle of The Athletic, the NHL is not considering pushing back the start date of Phase 3. At this point in Phase 3 is July the 7th. Or July the 10th. July the 10th. Close enough. So that is that. So yeah, Austin Matthews testing positive for the current situation, which is going to hurt the Leafs' chances a little bit. But we'll see in that situation. Maybe be able to be back and ready to go, and after the quarantine and all that kind of stuff. But the Chicago Blackhawks and Montreal Canadiens are teams I'm going to be cheering for. Like you always cheer for the playoffs in August and September. But they'll be the teams I'll cheering for moving forward. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.